there we go. Nice. Okay, so let's take a look at these rosters. Why is the quality kind of weird on this? Alright, got Lox Zlurd, wow, Cpogx, Zero X, and Mysticles against C2D2, DNA Galaxy, Zavalash Mori, and Mockery. I think my initial evaluation was that the Zero X blue team was a little bit favored, but we'll see. I think both of these teams are pretty close. I don't think either of these games, or like any of these games, I guess it's not either because there's three. I don't think they'll be like super big stomps, I guess, unless the drafts are really weird. But yeah. We got Dragonshire, they're gonna ban Junkrat. I think there's like two or maybe even three Tracer players in this game, so that might become a thing. I don't want to keep this super high volume though. Can't tell what a good volume would be. Let's go with that for now. Gonna ban Garrosh. Looks like we don't have draft sounds again, so that's kind of annoying, but that's alright. There we go. Alright, looking back here, Garrosh Rainer ban is interesting. I'm kind of confused by that. Let's see what they go with the first pick here. I haven't scouted really any of these teams super hard. Diva left open. This is the new patch, so I don't think Diva is quite as mandatory anymore. They're gonna pick up the Tracer, taking it away. The Brightwing to pair with that is interesting. I think people have been underrating Brightwing for a long time. I think she's very strong. They're gonna take Diablo. And let's see, what other DPS do they want here? I think Tychus is very strong now. They could just take that away. Greymane is always pretty decent. Could go with something like Cassia. They're just gonna pick healer. Go with the Stukov. Don't want to wait until after third bans with that, because they'll essentially get 3 bans, or 2 bans I guess on healer if they want to, because they've already selected their healer. So they don't want to choke the healer pool too much. I think that makes sense. They can wait on damage here. I'm still kind of confused. I mean, the Rainer ban makes sense if they want to first pick Tracer, but I think you just don't need to pick Tracer that early. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me, but whatever. Sylvanas ban makes sense. She's just super strong on DPS. I think red either bans. I think they should ban Tychus. If it were me, well, no, because Tychus isn't enough wave clear for them. I've been liking the Lunara matchup into Stukov as well recently. They're gonna go with the tank ban. I think that makes sense also. They've already banned a tank. They've already picked a tank. So choking the tank pool makes sense, and those are probably the 2 best tanks into Diablo. So what's left is now like Muradin, Johanna, probably a couple other ones I'm forgetting. They could just go tank DPS here and hold offlane, although they've already shown Diva, so I don't think you need to hold offlane. I do think you want to pick your second DPS here, though, before they get the double DPS to lock you out of it. So they're going to go with Cassia. I think Cassia is smart, too. Instead of a Greymane or a Tychus, probably. Yeah, I think Cassia is solid. It's a bit more of a late-game scaling pick. It's probably weaker in the early game, and that might be an issue, because Tracer is also kind of weak. And now they are very light on wave clear. I think if they were going Cassia here, this should have been a Johanna to pair with it, because it helps the wave clear a lot. That would be my opinion. And, you know, blinds and stuff are useful for Cassia as well. So they're going to take the Tychus. That's kind of unusual because these aren't very high spell damage, and Tychus definitely does better into spell damage, and they're not very high health bars. like it's just the Anubarak, but he's pretty small health bar. And they're also picking the Jaina. Anubarak is pretty good into spell damage and Jaina and stuff, and they have Brightwing, who's also good into spell damage. So I think the Tychus I think is okay. I think I would have gone more physical ranged here. But not too bad. They definitely needed a ranged auto attacker to deal with the Tracer, I think. And they're gonna go with Blaze for the offlane. I haven't seen Blaze picked as an offlane into D.Va very much. It's kind of unusual. It does help the Anubarak a lot because it gives him like a defensive tool in teamfights to stay alive after he dives in. Because he's probably going to be their primary kill target. It's going to be pretty hard for them to kill Tracer, I think, if the Tracer is playing well. They're going to have the Brightwing Z and things like that. Like, I think he'll live through the Jaina burst, so I think they're kind of just going to have to rely on the Tychus to kill him. So if he can dodge out on the minigun stuff by going into bunker, that'll be pretty good. I'm not sure that Tychus needs bigger they are this game, and it would kind of be bad if they bunker the whole duration of it. So I think he should actually probably go in the rhythm just to sustain through the teamfight there. Let's see the game start up. I think Cassia should go Q build this game. Well, do I think so? She could go auto attack too, I guess, actually. I'd be okay with either one. We don't have new habits on Blaze. Hopefully they'll pull up the rest of the talents. I saw it was phase shift on Brightwing. There is the Q build on Cassia that's interesting. I think I would be okay with either Cassia build here. I don't think the hybrid that I played worked out as well as it could have, in hindsight. Jaina going globes, of course. Tracer picking melee. Being very safe on these early game rotates. Jaina, Tychus, and D.Va actually do have pretty significantly better wave clear than blue team here. Overall, I think I like the red team's draft a tiny bit more, but I think blue is maybe slightly stronger on the team. I think if they had Johanna, blue would be much more favored in this game. But overall, pretty close. That's not Spine Launcher at level 1 on Stukov, it's something else. I don't know what that does exactly. Got Feast on Fear, of course. Anubarak is going the shield talent for 60 spell armor at level 1. Nothing too exciting happening here. Both teams just clearing waves, waiting for their camps to spawn. It's pretty easy to clear the waves with Jaina, of course. Just drop a Blizzard. Already through globes. Red side looking like they're going for the Bruiser camp first, level 1. And meanwhile, blue team going for their siege camp. Overall, I think I like the siege camp play a little bit better, but they were a bit slow. Red side with D.Va probably having an advantage on the top side. Going for Bruiser and pushing with it maybe makes some sense. I don't think they have the pressure in bottom lane, though, to probably hold the siege camp push with just Jaina down here. So they're not really able to put like Tychus and Stukov in the top lane also. They're going to have to keep everybody on the bottom side. It was good that they got their siege camp though without it being invaded. Good that red team is tanking the siege giants away from their wall here in the lane. Blue had a brief channel, but of course that's going to be cancelled. D.Va looks like she's getting ganked in the top lane. The mech goes down. It's hard because you can't see the health bar on the UI there. Tracer with the bomb secures the kill on D.Va. That's very big. It's going to shut down their Bruiser push in the top lane that they worked hard for. Blue team not matching that camp yet. Red team going to pick up the bottom camp. I think this will give them a very strong push on the bottom side of the map now. They can probably get a large portion of the bot lane wall here. They're giving up some top lane soak, but I think the structure damage, especially in bottom lane on this map, is very important if you can get a lead on it. So overall, pretty strong for them. Tychus did go bigger they are. Looks like Diablo is going some Flame Stomp build. Jaina looks like that's Frost Armor, I believe. Not super good into the Tracer. It's okay into the Cassia. But I think with Stukov giving you armor already, I probably would have still gone Q Pierce. But that's just me. I don't know. I think having the ability to burst a target and get so much more damage out of your Q is a much bigger benefit. But I know it is sort of a matchup thing into the Tracer, even though it doesn't block very much damage, just applying the chill onto her for a slow is still pretty nice. So they weren't able to get a whole ton with their bot lane push. I mean, they got tower and the wall, but not a huge significant lead because they were still coming out behind on Soak, of course. Blue team now getting their camp. They are 3v3 in the bottom lane here, as Tychus went up to help the D.Va clear mid lane. Slurred should be fine with the Brightwing phase shift onto the point here. Diablo still kind of low souls at this point in the game, so he's not going to be too great. Yeah, Anubarak diving in very aggressively there as the Tychus was rotating down, going to take a lot of chunk, and Red is going to secure the control of the bottom point. With D.Va still controlling top point, they can look for maybe a channel on DK in the mid lane here, with Anubarak forced to recall, but probably not going to get it. It looks like the Blaze is going to be there to stall, and they can send the Tracer probably top lane to cap the Shrine up there and deny the DK control. Brightwing gonna phase shift in onto the Blaze here. Oh, they weren't able to keep the stall up. I think Blaze could have stayed in there if the Brightwing was coming. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, but this is an early game Dragon Knight. It's probably just gonna get some towers in the mid lane and then finish off the bot lane push and then just poke in with some flames. Probably not gonna get too much done here. They might actually keep it mid just to get the well. I think that would be probably a smart play. Securing the wells is pretty good, and it's a little bit harder to kill them now with the shield. So we do see that happen. Get the well. Meanwhile, Blaze is still pushing in the top lane with those bruisers, but D.Va should be relatively fine to clear that, although she's low health right now in pilot form, so maybe she'll have to be a bit careful. DK is killing top well, I see. Okay, that's a little bit funny, but looks like they're going to be able to push the bot lane well by themselves, and they already got the other tower. Weird Unstoppable by Zlurd there. I'm not sure if Diablo already had the charge or not. I wasn't paying too close of attention, but possibly a good use of Medallion there. Overall, mid-game here, pretty even. I would say the structured lead is definitely in the favor of Red so far, but not super significantly. Tychus going Relentless Soldier instead of the cooldown reduction on the trait. Cassia going trait procs again, not going the Inner Light at 4. Anubarak going Burrow talents. Most everything else looks about what I would expect, I would say. Oh, Diablo changed from Flame Stomp build. I don't know what that level 7 talent does. Let's look real quick. We've got Welly. D.Va Mech dies in the top lane. Micro Missiles, Odin, Ball Lightning. I'm not sure I like Ball Lightning here. Big engage coming in on the bot lane, but no real kill pressure to follow it up, so not much going to happen there. Is that the new Diabolical Momentum talent? Because it's Q and E? That's what it is. They just changed the icon. I see. So, Anubarak stuck in the silence here. Oh, he is going to be able to burrow out D.Va and Tracer getting traded. Engage. The stuns onto Cassia are very good here. Massive Shove gonna miss. Brightwing comes in, gets the heal in time. I thought they were going to be able to secure that kill on Cassia, but not quite. Just going to push with their bot lane siege down here. There's not really too much that they can have happen on the map right now until the shrines come back up, so just going to get camps, soak XP. So on the other side we had Blink Heal, Ball Lightning. I'm kind of confused about that because I think Valkyrie onto Jaina, Tychus if you can either force his Medallion or force him to Odin is good. Or Stukov on like a Massive Shove or something is very good. Really good stun by Anubarak there, interrupting the engage onto Anubarak. He still gets chunked pretty hard though. And they're going to pop Odin. They're just going to try and siege down this bottom lane for it. They got the well. They've got the Bruiser Camp, giving them 20 spell armor here, of course. Looks like they're going to be able to get this. I think the lack of wave clear on blue is really hurting them in this game so far. I think they actually could consider having Blaze swap to main tank and having Anubarak off lane, because I don't think they're winning into the D.Va regardless, and the only way that they are winning is by rotating up the Brightwing and the Tracer, I think. So I think you might as well just keep Blaze in the bottom lane, just to have the wave clear, because otherwise they're just gonna get bullied out of all these rotations. Not having new habits on Blaze is kind of a little bit worse for them as far as a main tank engage opportunity as well. Anub'arak has been stepping up a bit far this game without their team really there to follow up. I think Cassia and Tracer could be harassing the Diablo a lot more and chunking him when he steps up like that, because he's kind of just full HP this whole game, and that's making it very hard for Anub'arak to engage. I think they could be trading a lot more damage. So we see some trades come down, they get the Jaina pick, but overall, the fight kind of stabilizes on both sides. Blue controlling the bottom side shrine. D.Va keeping up the soak. And gonna head back top lane. Oh, gonna find the rotate onto Tracer there. Most ults are down for blue team, and red has theirs up a little bit sooner. We've got the pulse bomb out on the D.Va mech. That was weird. I think that was a double blink, and he blinked back into the defense matrix. Recall there might actually hurt him in the end. They are able to secure the DK, so even if CPX dies here, dodge on the massive shove, he's gonna go down. Not ideal. I think he just kind of overchased and was pretty greedy chasing onto the D.Va there. Even if you force out the mech, I don't think it's really a significant benefit to you. Getting the DK is nice, but if you're dead and you only have Cassia, I think they're just going to be able to pressure the DK with Tychus Jaina and clear it extremely quickly. Yeah, the bigger they are is just ridiculous amounts of damage. So, unfortunately, this DK kind of going to waste for blue team. They are about a level ahead in soak, so probably going to hit 16 first. This should be a bit of a weird downtime for them, though, because I don't know how they'll force a fight once they are 16. Cassia not going auto attack range, going instead the movement speed. I think that makes sense. Tychus going Neosteel. Alright, DK getting the well in bot lane. Not a complete loss, but overall not too much getting done here. Jaina a little bit slow on stacking the Ice Block quest. Not quite done well on that. Just a little bit over halfway. Cassia's not really stacking the Q quest very much either. Only 38 stacks on that. Feel like that's a bit low. In mid game here, you'd want to be probably closer to like 50 plus. Most everything else looks pretty reasonable. I believe this is the movement speed on Anub'arak W talent. I don't remember his talents exactly, but what's up, Mercy? Blue team not wanting to fight here until they're 16. They've got the camp pushing bot lane. They're going to force out the mech on D.Va again. He gets the pulse bomb. Does get the finish kill on D.Va. Red, if they can hit 16 here, could potentially be fine on the bottom side. There's no shrines yet. It's Burning Rage on W, thank you. That's the armor reduction melee, I believe, not the AoE. On Tracer. Cassia going the Q talent at 16, of course. I think there's a chance that the blind might actually be better here for the Tychus. But either way, good cocoon onto the Stukov there, prevents any massive shove. They are able to get the Diablo. Good bunker by Blaze, good Z by Brightwing. They got the blink heals, they can kill the Welly. Definitely a good fight by blue team there, turning it around even after the D.Va got picked off in the top lane. Jaina's got the root talent at 16, Tychus has sizzling attacks, of course. Diablo going a weird kind of hybrid stun build thing. Blue side with this Bruiser Camp going to be able to push the bottom fort down and equalize the structure advantage. Cool flank by Blaze here, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything from that. I don't know what stopped him on that charge, but that's why you want new habits, because he could have gotten that engage on Tychus. Was it a Tychus grenade? That was cool if he did that. Done that before. Tracer has to recall, blink out. The Blaze got shoved away. Now they've got a 5v4 for red side here. Cassia's going to get flipped in, pops the medallion. Odin a little bit late, I feel like, if they were going to try and go for this engage. Diablo doesn't have souls. The Ball Lightning is going to secure the kill on him. Blaze can look for a return engage now, maybe. D.Va is going to be able to boosters out. They got the root down on the Blaze. He's forced to pop bunker. Anub'arak going to engage onto the Tychus, but he should be fine. Oh, Zavalosh coming out. Gets picked off. Tracer recall again. Kind of weird. And yeah, blue side, pretty good fight there. Able to get some picks onto red. They're going to be able to have Blaze try and go for the top shrine now. Meanwhile, they siege in the bottom lane wall. They are a bit ahead for 20s here. I don't think they get the keep. I think they just get the towers here. I think Brightwing is going to Z-top, help Blaze to secure the shrine, and now they can try and just either push down mid fort or just secure DK. They do get the root. Chill onto Jaina. Recall comes out. They're not going to be able to stall the DK, but good pressure. Red could look to defend this. I think the fort in mid lane is likely going to go down, but I think they can defend the keep. I don't think they'll go for the bottom keep there. Diablo going to get punted away. He's still low souls. Diablo, or D.Va close to a bomb. This is a weird flank because they can't really engage onto the DK here, and Blaze and Anubarak just have so much CC, and Brightwing polymorph as well. I don't know what they were trying to do with that flank exactly, but they stalled them off of mid for a little while, I guess. This DK is just going to take so much damage from Tychus. I think Tychus could have probably popped Odin there if he didn't want to get punted, but holding it is fine too, because they don't really want to engage yet. They see Blaze in the top lane. Diablo, good job not getting punted the wrong way. Tychus going to trade with Tracer in the bottom lane. Looks like neither one really committing to the trade. And they're just going to poke down mid fort with the Flame Breath. I think red side wants to look for an engage when the DK dies here, especially if Blaze and Tracer are going to be split. They're going to have to be able to get onto either their Brightwing or the Cassia. Getting onto the Anubarak is going to be hard, but they needed to fight there before 20. They can't. I don't think they can wait all the way until 20 themselves. Blue team, I think, can get camps and possibly force something. They're going to have to play very passive, soaking for 20, and that's going to be pretty hard. Like, I think blue could invade this bruiser camp right now. They're clearing it pretty fast, and blue, Anubarak is scouting mid instead of looking for the engage themselves, the aggressive play with 20s. So, not able to invade that camp. They are able to secure the mid fort down. Jaina does have Ice Block quest complete. We've got Invisible Friends, got the Get Stuffed, we've got Infinite Ball Lightning, Rewind on Anubarak, of course, and Bunker upgrade. So blue has the siege camp in bottom lane. They are still 20 advantage. D.Va trying to soak mid-top to get red side the 20. They're just going to try and slow siege this. They've got Cassia Qs poking in, Blaze damage, of course. They can pop Odin to try and defend. Micro Missiles also getting very good damage onto the Tracer. Looks like red side is going to be able to defend this, but having to use an ult for it, not ideal. D.Va still double soaking in the mid lane. Blue gonna get the bruiser camp and then probably poke in again and get some more damage on bottom lane now that the Odin is gonna be down. Having to pop Odin before you're level 20 especially is kind of rough. They might try and use Welly. I think they need to look for a D.Va flank APOC engage onto them pretty soon here, because I think you can maybe let the keep die, but you need to hit 20 and then engage like immediately. Tracer goes in for a Get Stuffed, recalls out immediately. That's going to be on cooldown, taking some damage from the Tychus. Diablo tries to find an engage. They get it only onto Anubarak. He gets healed up by the Brightwing. The bunker comes down. They've got the Bruiser Camp now. They're going to get the D.Va Bomb out. The Cocoon comes down onto Stukov. He should be okay. So they defended it. They weren't really able to get a super good engage with the APOC. Welly was not popped either. And now is when they really want to engage. There's no threat on the top lane shrine for a Dragon Knight coming in. No charge comes out on the Blaze. Diablo getting engaged upon. Has some souls now. Charges out onto the Anubarak. Blaze missing the charge. They are able to get the kill on Anubarak. Cassia dives in super aggressively. Has Ball Lightning. Brightwing, I'm not sure, can heal them up. Diablo is also getting very low from the Tychus. Or the Tychus, okay. Diablo goes down. Not full souls, so he won't be up immediately. They just trade tanks. Interesting. Sorry, the Tychus wasn't killing Diablo. The Tychus was, just trading onto their team. They are gonna try and get on the top side objective. Okay, it doesn't look like they rotated up fast enough there. I thought the D.Va would maybe just go for the flank. They are gonna look for a pick on the Tracer there. They get the root, but the recall comes down. The silence not quite good enough. They chunk her, chase her out. No DK is gonna be able to come in yet. D.Va can rotate top, the other three can stand here. If you're standing in this bush, you can actually cap the DK on the corner there and they can't see you, so you actually have to step out of the bush slightly to see the full DK channel. But they are able to get the shrine top line, so no DK pressure threat is immediate. With the Bruiser Camp pushing top lane though, Blaze should be able to maybe get control of that again for blue side there. Both side going for siege camps now. Both offlaners just posturing in the middle bushes. That's funny. Just giving the old stare down there. Diablo at 94 souls, so he's going to be close to having an instant respawn here in a fight. He's got the Hellgate now. We do have Bob and Weave from the Tychus, so we've got the Wintermute Welly upgrade, of course. Stun onto the Diablo, he pops the Unstoppable. Cocoon comes down onto the Stukov again. No get stuff just popped. Big damage onto Diablo. The Blaze Charge misses. Stukov pops the Unstoppable out of the Cocoon, but Diablo gets the APOC engaged. Stukov's going to go down. Tracer getting pressured by the Tychus Odin. Another big Cassia engage. Blaze Stun follows it up. Cassia getting super low. The Tychus damage isn't quite enough. Diablo goes down. He wasn't full souls? Oh, he is souls. Okay, he got the souls, so he can come back. Red's sort of stabilized, not immediately giving up a DK. The rotate top is a bit slow. Tracer clears out bottom lane, keeps control of the shrine. Blue side needs to regroup here and not get picked off. They force out a D.Va mech. I guess minions did that top lane with the bruisers. Anub'arak possibly looking for an engage himself, but there's no follow-up. If he gets engaged upon himself, okay, he could have been in trouble. Blue side needs to group up here. Tracer going in very aggressively, gets super chunked, has to force out the recall. Get stuffed, is able to disengage. Blaze with a flank. Oh, big damage onto Mockery, and the Jaina goes down. They're engaging onto the Tychus if they can prevent D.Va from getting into a mech. Okay, D.Va gets the mech off. But with no DPS down, I don't think Red can pressure them off of a DK now, and if this DK goes bottom, I think this ends. Cassie's going to be up in 5 seconds. She can come back in from base. Red side is in a bit of a tricky situation with no damage here. They're not going to be able to kill this Dragon Knight at all. They have Massive Shove and APOC up in a few seconds. D.Va Micro Missiles is about all the damage they have. Good. Get stuffed engage onto the Diablo. DK getting baited in by the D.Va propulsion. That keep just melts. They've got the bunker. Good stun onto the Tracer by the core. But they're just going to pop in bunker, start flame streams, and the DK is just on the core now, and it's just going to die too fast. D.Va Bomb, not really able to do much for them on the zone. These stuns are hitting a lot of people on the core. DK punting away the D.Va. Diablo's just so low with no souls, and the core goes down. Oof. I'm not sure how I feel about the Tracer. I don't think Red Team should have first picked it. I don't think that was the main issue for them in this game. Blue side, despite having low wave clear in the early game, they were able to stabilize in the mid game and get those picks. Cassia doing a lot of damage in late game. I think the Ball Lightning did a lot in those fights. But yeah, I think it was mainly down to the D.Va wasn't able to stay alive, and the Diablo was getting pressured too hard in fights because they would engage onto a Anub'arak, but just couldn't secure the kill, and he would get out with like 20% HP and then get full healed by Brightwing. Blaze had a fair number of misstuns, but had some very good bunkers in the teamfights. Tychus, I think, played decently, all things considered. Stukov, it was hard for them. Didn't really get too many good shoves off, but they were also getting cocooned in a lot of the fights and then engaged on afterwards. But I did expect blue team to be a little bit favored going into this matchup. And I didn't like their draft a ton, but I think it came online in late game once they had the damage scaling getting higher and higher there. I'm not sure that D.Va is a first pick for sure every game either now anymore. She's still pretty strong, but I don't know that she's always the first pick type thing. I think you can leave her unbanned for sure and possibly get away with it. That we were already seeing that before the patch, so I definitely think that's possible. overall, pretty good game though. Neither team was playing macro like super well. It's kind of hard for blue team to do that because of their low wave clear though. That's not true. Blue team actually did play about as well as they could have as far as macro goes, because they were using the global, they were getting camps out and pushing with them. I was surprised at um, some of the pushes that they weren't really able to get as much pressure from on structures as I thought they would. Because that game was relatively equal in structures until that last DK finishes off the bottom keep. So that was kind of surprising. But overall, a pretty good game. I think the Brightwing did a lot, actually, because it felt like they weren't really ever pressured by the Jaina as far as kill pressure onto them. The Anubarak as well. Like, they would get chunked, and then Brightwing would just full heal up every time, pretty much. And having the mobility on the map as well, paired with the Tracer, I think was pretty big for them. So I do think despite the lower wave clear, they were kind of able to play the map more. Yep, Brightwing is very good. Very good hero. Can't wait for Ding Ding Rainer. Oh boy. I wish they had a bit more stuff in between games. Like, instead of this screen, if it was replays of moments of the games, of like big fights or whatever. Just little highlight clips that people make as the game is going on. Just like short 30-second clips or whatever. That you could just have played on repeat instead of the background thing. Or music on this screen would be nice. At least. It's a little bit more fancier production and takes a little bit more tools, but if you can set them up ahead of time, I think it's a lot better. Because then I could actually like review stuff in the game that maybe I was forgetting or something. It's hard to just go off pure memory. I wasn't sure how I felt about the Tychus, because I think they did alright, but on the other hand, I don't think it was super great into blue team's comp. And I'm trying to think of what other DPS I would go with there. I don't think you can go Phoenix. Maybe Junkrat? Does Junkrat give them enough damage? Junkrat was banned, actually, anyway. I know Raynor and Silver banned. Could you go Falstad? Falstad Jaina doesn't seem like you have enough damage, right? That seems weird. You could go Hanzo. I think Hanzo over Tychus is probably way better. What else? Is there anything else other than Hanzo that I like there? A ton? I mean, Greymane's okay. Greymane would have been okay into their team. But it feels about similar to the Tychus, I would say. This is real bad. Hanzo's bad because Tracer Brightwing. Maybe. Hanzo would be worse in late game, I think. But I think the whole point is that you want to have a better early game. And mid game. I don't know, maybe. No, I see what you're saying. I think the Hanzo maybe wouldn't have worked. Falstad, I think, is maybe the best option, but it still feels pretty underwhelming. I don't know. I just think the draft kind of worked out weird. I feel like they picked Diablo kind of early. I think they should have gone ETC or maybe Muradin or something instead, or picked Johanna themselves. I was really surprised Blue didn't pick Johanna. Alright, red team, they played D.Va, not allowing blue team to play D.Va, even though red team is first pick. Blue team gonna ban Tracer. They got the game in themselves, and now they are bullying Mockery yet again, not allowing the gentleman's agreement of both being able to play Tracer. That wasn't a gentleman's agreement that actually got made, I'm just making it up. No need to flame anyone. I am just making jokes. Alright. Is there anything, Chromie coming in, anything on blue team that I would consider banning? Or needing to take away? Let's see. Blaze Anibarak, Tracer, Cassia, right wing. The right wing was pretty strong. I don't think, it's hard with people not playing repeat heroes, that I don't think there was anything I feel the need to ban, really. So sticking with just meta heroes is probably fine, as far as red team bans go. Blue team, they're gonna ban Garrosh. Alright, this is Volskaya. I think this should be Sylv, first pick. Or what else? What else would be good here? ETC is good. Johanna's fine. Could pick Raynor, some other DPS that's safe too, on a first pick. Okay, blue team should now go let's think actually. Muradin plus... Ooh, what else do you want here? Junkrat? That's okay. I'm okay with Junkrat, actually. That's pretty safe. I think that's pretty generalist. I like that, actually. That keeps you very flexible. Okay. I like that a lot. It gives you good wave clear, good teamfight control still. I like the Muradin. Alright, red team now. Think you've got to go with the mage that's going to pressure Muradin somehow, or the Junkrat. Liming could be an option, or just a Kel'Thas Gul'dan type thing. They're going to go with the Ming. They're going to pick the Johanna because they're weak on wave clear with the Ming. Cho'Gall, they could have Cho'Galled. I don't want to see a Cho'Gall. That's what I'll say about that. Anyway. Alright, so we do see the Liming come down. I think blue team should ban Raynor or Greymane or Cassia. Yeah. Cassia. Okay. I know it's like one of those three. I'm not sure which three it is. It depends on what they're planning to go. So, depending on what they're planning to go, one of those is the correct ban, but I'm not sure which one. Alright. Blue team, gonna ban Yrel. I mean, that's, yeah, fine. That's a solid offlaner. Might as well get rid of it here. Alright, blue team, they should pick Sylv and healer. And the healer they should pick is probably either Deckard or... They're gonna go Tyrant. They're gonna go Zarya. Zarya Junkrat is a weird damage combination. They do have Muradin and Tyrant, which are pretty high damage on their tank and support. So maybe it's okay? That's a weird damage pairing there. Okay. Red team should go... They could go Sylv. I don't mind the Vala either. I like the Vala pick too. Sylv, offlaner, they can pick... Thrall. I don't dislike that, actually. I'm pretty okay with that. If they can hold the lane well as Thrall. Thrall is kind of tough into some offlane matchups, but if he can hold the lane, I think I like that, actually. Earthquake is going to be very strong in teamfights, I think. Or Sunder, actually. Either one. Okay, I like their team. Alright, blue team, what are you picking offlane to have pressure on their team? Some way to dive the backline. Chen? Sonya? Sure. It's pretty much the same thing. I like that. Alright. I think I like red team's comp better. But it's because I'm not really sure on how the Junkrat Zarya is going to work out. I really don't see how they're going to get kills. I mean, they can kill the Ana. Sure. I get that. They can dive the Ana. I get that point. But is that enough for them? And don't they just die if they do that? And they overcommit to it? I don't see how they're going to win fights. It's hypercarry Sonya. That makes sense. Is Sonya going to be able to hypercarry into their team, though? Johanna's got a lot of CC. They're going to get slept. They're going to get wave of forced. They're going to get silenced. And pressured by the Sylv. Sylv is very good into Sonya as far as the matchup goes. And I think the Thrall as well. I don't see Sonya being able to hypercarry into that much pressure on the red side. Maybe late game if they can get like 16 and 20. I could see it. The scaling for blue is definitely there. If they're able to get 16 and 20, I can definitely see it in the late game fights. But early and mid game, I think they're going to be struggling pretty hard. And I think if the Li Ming gets a reset early on in a fight, it's going to be a big problem for them. So I think I give the comp favor, especially early mid game, to red. Maybe late game to blue. So I think if red can win both the first 2 points, they'll probably be favored. If blue is able to get one of the first 2 and then get the third, I think blue is probably favored. Weird lane matchups here. We've got Echo of the Elements, Q build. Got the Power Hungry on Li Ming. Owl build on Durand. Junkrat, or the block talent on Sonya. Into the Thrall Sylv is actually pretty reasonable. They've got Thrall and Sonya currently offlaning in the top lane, and they're 3-man, or kind of 4-man matching bottom, with Junkrat soaking mid for blue team. Interesting lane setups here. Kinda strange. Pretty unusual as far as high-level games go. Sylv starting the camp immediately. He's able to get pretty good damage on this. And stun them with her trait, not really taking a whole lot of damage. It's always nice to see. They get that pretty fast. They only had Tyrande Zarya doing their camp. They are able to still get it about 5 seconds later, so not too much of being behind on blue side. Both tanks just safely clearing the lanes. Junkrat is now double soaking, it looks like. Oh no, Sonya's with him. I couldn't see on the map. Okay. So, still kind of 3-manning bottom. Red side is doing their siege camp extremely early in this game. I guess they want to push, possibly with Merc Queen, in the top lane here, especially since they're only going to be up against the offlaner, so it's like a solo defense instead of a 4-man or 3-man defense that's up here normally. There we see the Merc Queen come in at level 4, or build on Li Ming. Not or build, but orb talent at 4. So they're going to swap the lanes now, rotate the people up to defend the camp. And blue side gonna hold their camp for the objective timing, most likely. Sylv can disable the wall here, but as long as she's in range of these to get Merc Queen on them. Good boop in by Junkrat to clear this camp earlier, easier. I think red could have used that window while they're defending top to force the support camp, and they kind of lost the opportunity. They were 5 people mid also, so not really getting a whole lot out of that advantage that I think they were trying to build on the map, so it's about equalized now, and now I think they're going to actually end up behind. They are behind on XP. Now they're starting the support camp while they're doing the siege camp. I think this is okay. They should probably still get this, but it's a little bit harder now that Junkrat was able to have a mine set up possibly, and looks like they're able to get the item. Oh, but the Sylv was the one who got the item, so they had to drop the turret, so they gave over a turret instead for it. That's kind of just a misplay. I'm not sure how that happened. How someone on red wasn't able to pick up the item is kind of pretty unfortunate. That shouldn't have happened. That's just a straight up mistake. Anyway, red team trying to get the initial channel here. Saw Sleep Mist from the Ana, but it's just Muradin. He can trade his health bar pretty reasonably. Blue team was able to get the siege camp now, pushing the top lane a bit slow there because they peeled off of it to go for the heal camp fight. Muradin is Sledgehammer and Skullcracker. We've got Festering Wounds on Sylv. Not as much a fan of that personally. Calamity on Li Ming, of course. Mine build on Junkrat instead of the kind of more common, I guess, trap build. Kind of a weird hybrid build on Sonya. Spin Talent and the Poison Spear. They're going to get a third turret on the side of blue team here. And red team getting a lot of initial percentage on this channel. Sylv and Li Ming zoning off the Junkrat on the top side. He gets pretty low. He's probably going to have to back. But without DPS there, red team not going to be able to hold the objective. Going to have to back off. Sleep lands onto Zarya. Good block by Muradin to block the Li Ming spells. Zarya, heal camp gets dropped. Turrets are getting dropped on the side of blue side. They had 3 turrets. Sylv can W and pop her trait to disable all these, but it's not really happening. Red team taking a lot of damage. Muradin is the one who goes down first. Li Ming's going to get resets now, but Sonya's going to go down. Johanna also getting very low. The turrets doing a lot of damage. Now one gets disabled. The mine doesn't find Mockery. And he gets out. Blue side able to get the channel here. Johanna stepping in for a condemn, but no real follow-up. They clear out the turrets. Red team going to be able to get the channel time back. Junkrat going to go ahead and clear the top lane. XP pretty even on both sides, but with red side ahead on this channel here, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get here in time to contest at 99. They do have Zarya possibly looking to step up, but she peels back to go bottom lane. So red is able to get the first objective. I think that sets them up favorably in this early mid game as I expected. Getting some push in the mid lane here. They also should have Sylv out of the mech as they do. She can pop disable on the mid towers and then can also pop disable on the top lane because this lasts longer than 40 seconds and her cooldown is 40 seconds on the disable. They killed the top tower, going for the top well, of course, to set up for the second objective. And they are able to secure that. Instead, they're going to send Sylv in the bottom lane to pressure the Sonya with the Thrall and use disable down there. They are able to get both towers in that lane, so that sets them up pretty favorably to possibly push down a fort in any one of the 3 lanes if they build an advantage and they're all close by. And Sylv is alive. Flesh Shield, Earthquake, Nano Boost, Wave of Force, Wailing Arrow, of course. We've got Riptire, Shadowstalk. We do see the Haymaker, I like that. I believe that's Repulsion, because Grav is purple, and Sonya, I believe, went Wrath. I don't think I saw the leap. So Mech here, just gonna die in mid lane. They got most of the front walls down. Mine doesn't really get any pressure onto Zavalosh. Meanwhile, Sonya soaking in the bottom lane. Red gonna be able to get their turret that I think they were... Did they get a second turret on the objective? They shouldn't have if this camp is up, I think. So I think this is their second turret only in the game, so a little bit behind on that because Blue's going to be able to get their, technically their 4th turret, but the 3rd on their own spawn. Red getting the siege camp again early on in the top lane, possibly going to try and get a push done with that. Meanwhile, just soaking the lanes. Thrall stepped up a little bit far in the bottom lane, but doesn't look like he's going to get engaged on or pressured. Or maybe I spoke too soon because Muradin looped around for the full flank, and Tyrande is down there. They get the spear. They don't really have any follow-ups, you see, though. Thrall is going to be able to get out, and they've maybe got a return flank coming in here. Muradin's going to jump out. The Wave of Force doesn't interrupt him, although he's stuck down here, and they've rotated all the way onto him now. If he can get his trait going, he can maybe heal up enough. He's trying to play out of vision so the Li Ming can't see him. He's waiting on his jump cooldown. He gets the jump across onto the other side of the conveyors. The Wailing Arrow finds him, and Sylv is able to pick up the kill. Now they can push in this bottom fort. They've got 4 people down here, and they've got disabled. They've already got the towers and the wall down. They're going to probably only be able to get about half damage on this. The repulsion zone comes down. The Thrall, they can't really trade too much damage into the Zarya. Boop comes down. They've got the Riptire. They're just going to have to disengage. Thrall might go down for this. The heals coming in from Zavalosh. on the Ana. Not able to keep him alive. The Owl and the Qs, the whatever they are, grenades, particle grenades, something like that. I don't know what Zarya's talent or ability names are. Not quite able to find him. Quest complete on the Zarya grenade talent though at 8 minutes. Red rotating up 5 people in the top side now. The blue camp is pushing in the top lane, but they're going to try and go for the support camp instead. See Remorseless for the Sylvanas. I didn't see a Haymaker, I think, when the Murden died in the bottom lane. There's perhaps a way for him to have used that to live. Probably unlikely if he gets hit by the Wailing Arrows still. But maybe there's a chance. Good sleep coming down on Ana. No real damage should be traded out here. Thrall still in the top side. Zavalash gets engaged on by the Sonya, and he just melts. So good flank by blue side here to have 5 people in the bottom lane. They are able to get a pick with that. Zarya having to burn her medallion. Johanna Ironskin goes down. They've got a heal camp and a turret though, to I think 0 items on the side of blue side right now. So red side winning the first objective and winning a bit on structures on the map, and also have 2 items. Okay, no, Sonya has the turret. That's makes more sense. They're gonna have another turret on the side of red side here. Although without the Ana, the blue side can potentially invade and fight for it, but it looks like they're not going to. Junkrat's gonna head top lane. So it's gonna be 3 items to 1 on this top lane objective here. The Owl just does so much damage. It chunks like a quarter of Li Ming's health on every single hit. And they're going to be able to get a second turret for themselves in time. Junkrat not stepping onto top lane just yet, but nobody on red side is up there to contest him, so he's just able to clear the wave. He doesn't want to step on the point and possibly get caught out, though, at this point. Very good repulsion zone by Zlurd there on the Zarya, being able to secure that second turret camp for them. And red side has stepped up pretty far. They've gotten engaged onto the Ana again in the backline. Riptire comes down. Good sleep by Zavalash. Saves his own life. They are able to trade the kill on Murden. Items are being popped. Turret is disabled by Sylvanas. The Li Ming getting resets, going in, engaging onto the Zarya. They get another kill. And red side, I think their comp was just better in the early and mid game, and that is so far remaining true. Blue side not able to get the kill on Ana there, and unfortunately they were able to turn the fight around. The huge sleep onto the Riptire. And they're going to pick up mid fort. They've got channels started on the objective now. Sonya popping Wrath, trying to find an engage. She doesn't quite find the spear onto the Ana, getting a lot of damage traded back now on the Sylv. Li Ming playing on the bottom side flank here, looking to maybe get some big damage traded in onto Junkrat or somebody. Junkrat, meanwhile, Ripper airing across the map, gonna be able to go down and soak bottom lane. Red side getting channel and getting camps at the same time. A lot of items were popped in that fight. It looks like Mockery still has a turret, and I think blue side possibly should still have 1 turret as well. I think I only saw 1 get dropped on blue side, and I thought they had 2. I think maybe Sonya or Junkrat is holding it. Sleep comes down onto Zarya, but no damage. Follow up there. Li Ming and Junkrat both coming from bottom lane, but Junkrat is going to have a lot faster of a rotate there. Both teams going to hit 16 about the same time here, but blue is able to get on the objective to force the overtime. Sleep comes down onto the Tyrant. Camps are here. Li Ming and Sonya both with a turret themselves, so 2 turrets to 1 now. Riptire gets popped, just trying to secure the overtime swap over from blue. He's got a good flank on this Riptire. This is like a 4-man Riptire there. Quest completes. Johanna pops her medallion to avoid insane repulsion, though. Gets the engage onto Johanna or Thrall. They pop the Wrath, but Li Ming just does so much damage with this nano boost. Tyrant going down, gets silenced. They can pick off Murden here. Again, he's stuck on these conveyors. They get the trade onto Johanna. He's pressuring Zavalash. No damage follow-up on blue side there. The Wave of Force interrupting the Murden jump. They're going to be able to completely get Li Ming resets and getting 2-3 more kills. And they're going to get the Junkrat. Red team going to be able to get the mech. That was a huge turnaround play from red side. Holy cow. Okay. They're going to get at least another fort off this. Probably at least either a keep wall or possibly even a full keep. Sylvanas is going down in the bottom lane. Probably wants to disable that and secure the fort down there for herself. But they should be able to push this wall with just the mech and the Thrall here. I think the Li Ming could possibly jump out and the Thrall jump in. Because I think the Thrall is a lot more vulnerable outside the mech than the Li Ming, because the Li Ming can blink and Wave of Force and things like that. So they got the wall in the top lane. Just gonna poke some damage onto the keep. Sylvanas does secure the bot lane fort. Gonna poke in for some mid lane towers now. This mech is still super healthy. Like, they can possibly get all 3 keep walls here. They're gonna maybe get another well as well. In the mid lane here. Still poking. Tower goes down. Junkrat Mine, not really going to find anybody. I think they could look for an engage onto the Thrall here, but blue side not playing overly aggressive. I think they need to fight somehow before 20s on the side of red side. I think probably either on a turret camp or a support camp. Oh, the Owl just barely missing Mockery there. He's life drain, interesting. More Owl talents coming out of Tyrande. Blue side needs to look for a fight. They're going to probably force on support camp and give the turret instead for red team. But I think they would rather just run at them on this turret camp and force the fight themselves. Because they need a fight before 20 now. I don't know that they'll be able to... No, maybe they can soak 20 in time, actually. It'll be close. Because they do have a bit of a window here before the objective. And red, with all their lanes pushed in, like red isn't going to be able to get too much done with a 20 push, I don't think. As long as they don't stagger any deaths, it should be okay. And Junkrat and Zarya can both clear the waves pretty safely. Sonya soaking in the bot lane with Murden. Not a whole lot of action happening. Camps are just being taken, traded out. Nobody really contesting or fighting for anything. Neither side really wants to take a fight right now. As blue side now doesn't want to fight, and if red gets 1 kill, that'll put them to 20, and then the Leeming resets would just probably be the last chance of blue side in this game, so they have no reason to risk that. Red side is going to hit 20 now. They're going to clear out the top lane siege and take the siege of their own. They can possibly look in for this top keep. Meanwhile, blue could trade out the fort in bottom lane. That might not be a favorable trade for red. If they aren't able to win this bottom point, that could be very bad for them, giving blue side a win condition in the bottom lane if they are able to hit 20 and the late game scaling comes in for blue side on this third point. Got Earth and Shields, the Nano Boost upgrade, Wave of Force Repulsion upgrade, and the upgraded Bless Shield. Blue side still just soaking, trying to find 20s. I like that red side didn't overcommit into the top lane here. I think they held the siege camp, which I like as well. I think we're able to defend in the bottom lane. Blue side wasn't able to get a good push going there. Leeming staying split. She shouldn't show on the spot wave. Maybe it's okay. Sonya's not really in position to find a flank or an engage onto a Thrall or something. This rotate from Johanna is kind of aggressive. They could have maybe looked for a pick on her there. But without 20s, blue side just playing extra safe. They don't want to possibly throw. They're just waiting for this objective. The unstoppable shields on Zarya now, and Junkrat just going to try and clear up this bottom lane safely. Blue getting good poke in. They're going to get 1 tower here at least. They're going to get the second tower. Stun comes in onto the Thrall and Johanna, taking a lot of chunk damage. Ana able to heal it up. Here's the Blessed Shield engage onto the Junkrat. They get the Wailing Arrow. Follow up. The Zarya just melts and gets deleted. The Murden jump almost gets interrupted by the repulsion again. He's able to get out, but it looks like red side going to be able to get this keep. And blue side not able to find 20s just in time here before they were able to stabilize. I think they're going to have to just give up this bottom point because Zarya is not going to be alive in time. Maybe they can contest at the very end. It's going to be so rough for them though. They only used 1 ult, whereas red side just used all their ults, but they're most likely going to be up in time for a fight on the bottom objective. Red side, in the meanwhile, going to try and take this camp. Got Q talents at 16 coming up from Sylvanas. I see you. I like Bolt now too a lot, but I've always liked Q talent at 20 with that level 1. Rewind coming out from Murden, of course. Rip Tower upgrade, Shadow Stalk upgrade. Blue side, good unstoppable by Mockery. Rip Tower comes in, it hits 2. He dodges out with the Haunting Wave of the Murden stun. They are able to get the turret. Leeming got chunked, gonna have to back. They stepped off the bottom point, but they are able to get the channel back going here. Meanwhile, blue team gonna get the support camp. Zarya's just now respawned, and they have a chance to fight this still. Zarya holding her 20 upgrade. Meanwhile, Sonya going, I think that's the Giant Killer 16, and then is it Nerves of Steel at 20? It's something else. She has like two defensive talents. There's one that's Tough as Nails and one that's something else. And I can't remember which is which. Ignore Pain. That's the other one. Alright, Rip Tower comes in. Only going to find 2 most likely here. It steps in, it hits 3, I think, because it hit the Ana also. Here's the Hypercarry Sonya. The Blessed Shield comes in. She gets just deleted by the Leeming again. The Hypercarry Sonya isn't able to come in, but more Rip Towers are coming in from the Junkrat flank. Leeming is going to try and hunt him down. Gets the repulsion. Interrupts. I don't think that Junkrat mine got a lot, but Ana's super low Junkrat. Okay, is able to get away from the Leeming. The Mine doesn't quite find the Sylve. They're all so low. The Haymaker comes in onto the Thrall. Li-Ming not able to find the kill onto the Tyrande. The Junkrat Q's almost finding Mockery. They are able to kill the Ana. Johanna's still super low. Junkrat, okay. He mined in from across the universe there. And red side just gonna have to back out. They might still be able to engage again. Oh, Volskaya. What a map you are. I don't know that Ana's going to be there in time for them to engage. They have a big wave pushing top lane right now, and it's already below half on the side of blue side on their keep. Li-Ming just needs to dodge more of these spells. Red team, if they can get a pre-tap off there, no, they're not going to have time for the Ana. They're going to have to fight 4v4 because the Sonya backed. Oh no, blue side potentially throwing. Red side not going to step up for the contest. Blue side able to get the mech. This is close to an even game now. They're putting Tyrande, Zarya in the mech. Interesting choice. Maybe correct. Junkrat's leaving. And they're not really pushing with Sonya Murden because either of them can't step up. I think Zarya should probably be outside the mech. Tyrande going in is fine. They just have so much poke on this with the Sylve and the Li-Ming and the Thrall damage. Johanna, no trait. They're still just pressuring this mech so hard. Blue's not going to be able to get anything with it. They got one fort. Laser gets dodged out. A lot of damage being traded onto Johanna. They just have to tend to their lanes so much on blue team. How do they win? They need to find a fight at some point. How is this Sonya gonna live on the engage if she goes for the flank? She has to get on the backline, but the Li-Ming damage is just so much, and the Sylve, she can't live through it on her own. I think Murden and Zarya somehow need to be with her. They all just need to flank as a group together, and then have the Riptire follow-up on an engage. So they kind of need red to like face check into them, or blue just needs to get an insane vision play. Mech punches away almost into the laser follow-up. Junkrat, meanwhile, booping himself away out of any rotation to the top lane. Blue side hops out of the mech, just gonna let it time out. Red team getting set up here, looking for a play for the support camp. Johanna anchoring in a forward bush. Sonya clearing bot lane. Blue side, red side, starting up the support camp. Blue side doing the siege camp first instead because Sonya was clearing bottom. Johanna with the anchoring. Scouting vision. They've got the owl. Doesn't hit anybody. Dismount onto the Johanna. Not really gonna be anything too impactful. Both teams probably gonna go for their turrets now. Red side gonna be a bit faster on it. It's just Sonya on the other side. And they did siege camp. If the Sonya should clear that fast enough still. They shouldn't be able to invade this, I don't think. Okay. Alright, blue side stepping in kind of aggressively here. They see the Johanna anchoring the rotate again. Li-Ming damage comes out, trading. Blue side has the camp pushing top lane, but red can of course disable that very easily, and they still have a fort in that lane, so not too much pressure on them there. Just going to clear out the lanes mid lane. They're going to start their camp themselves. They are going to have Merc Queen pushing on that if they want. Slowly. Blue side can look into pressure mid. Get a little bit of damage on this fort. Meanwhile, Sonya's pushing bottom lane, going to try and finish off that well, most likely. Blue side just still poking in. Particle grenades. Poking away. They do a lot of damage. And they're super low cooldown. And Zarya can get a lot of energy pushing top lane here. Junkrat clearing top lane, it looks like. Probably going to clear up the siege camp there to prevent, hopefully, most of the keep pressure too immediately. I heard a Riptire. Why? Not sure why we're wasting Riptire here. But that's kind of weird, chat. Ah, the rotation scouting Riptire. Of course. How could I have been so foolish? The scouting Riptire. Excellent. It's not like we have a Tyrande Owl or anything to do that. Anyways. Junkrat gonna boop himself into the top lane point. If they knew he did that, they could have possibly killed him, but I think he's gonna back and be fine. Sonya going back to clear bot lane again. We're just waiting for the objective. Isn't Volskaya a great map where you can't do anything except on predetermined time periods, and then you just have to sit around like this? and it's always the same order to everything, so you know exactly which lanes to prioritize, and you never, like, end the game through mid lane or top lane randomly earlier than you expect, pretty much. Isn't it great that this map is solved? What a fun and engaging piece of gameplay is being displayed now. Look at the interactivity. Alright, turret camp's gonna respawn soon. Red's gonna pick that one up. Blue side, gonna look like they're gonna engage on this and invade, but they're not, because Junkrat's gonna be split clearing top, of course. Because they need to defend the keep. Blue, if they go too far forward here, pretending to engage here, they could actually throw into way a kill. Johanna stepping up. Murden kind of in a rough spot here. If he gets jump interrupted, he might die. They have a lot of damage onto him. Good shield coming out. They wasted Wailing Arrow on that. Riptire comes in, hits 4. They get the resets coming in again. The Sonya has the flank. She's directly onto the Ana. That's so bad for red side. The Riptires are coming in again. They're going to get so much damage onto Mockery. They're going to kill the Johanna now. Blue side. Are we scaling? We're always scaling. Particle Grenade doesn't quite find the Li Ming. Sylvanas able to get the recall off. Why didn't we pop Earthquake in that fight? What are we doing, red team? You have to press your buttons. Use your items. You need to do something. Alright, well, blue team got the keep. They're 5v3. They're popping the Unstoppable. Here comes Earth and Shields. Li Ming trying to trade damage onto the Tyrande. But the Shadow Stock and healing and Zarya shields keeps them alive. They keep just poking in. Murden Q doesn't find the the Thrall. Murden taking so much damage from the Sylvan Thrall. The Riptire comes in. They get the disengaged. Li Ming is so low. The Sonya's pressuring, but they aren't able to get core damage. These catapults, they have 4 catapults on their core. They're taking so much damage. They're stalling the recalls. They're inting to stall the recalls. Thrall goes down. Li Ming is backing, but they get the kill on the Sylvanas. The sleep comes in from Zavalosh. They're needing to trade. It's at 26%. The Junkrat went back to defend the core. They're pressuring the core. If Li Ming gets resets, this could all go away in an instant. It's so low. Li Ming needs the reset. Like, now they need to kill. No, they didn't do it. The blue side. What a game. Okay. Alright. Did one team throw? Did one team win? I don't even know what happened in that late game. That was so weird. Red team kind of threw. Let's be honest. But, wow. Murden got hard abused this game. For sure. But we scaled. So it's fine. Li Ming, I think, was a pretty big standout on the side of red team this game. And they were on Thrall, or not Thrall, Tychus the previous game, and also did pretty well. But, not able to get the resets. Zavalosh was getting abused. Thrall was not able to do much this game, it felt like. I mean, he needed to press his buttons. Sylv was getting pressured, Johanna was getting pressured. Yeah, once it hit late game, like, red was just, they just fell apart. They couldn't really keep up with the pressure coming out of blue side. And aside from the Li Ming burst, they didn't really have kill pressure. I mean, they did off Blessed Shield and Wailing Arrow, I guess. It felt like they weren't cohesive on their engage. Like, a Blessed Shield would come out, but then there wouldn't be Li Ming follow-up. Or like, Wailing Arrow would come out, and there wouldn't be Blessed Shield follow-up. Or Li Ming following up. Like, those 3 in combination. And then Thrall needs to pop Earthquake in that as well as a 4th one. And on a press Nano Boost, like... Yeah, if they can burst one target, they can kill it. Like, pretty much whoever it is. Like, we saw the Sonya melt. We saw the Muradin melt. Even with Zarya shields and Tyrande healing. And then Junkrat's obviously going to melt. They can do that to the other ones. What a game. I mean, up until the end, that could have still gone either way, pretty much. If red didn't die at their core, and were just able to stall the backs for a little bit longer without fully dying for it, and then Little Lehman got resets, they could have been wiped and then ended themselves. Like that game was like half a second away from completely flipping on its head, pretty much. If that Lehman got resets just like one round of spells earlier or something. What a game. Okay, I need to drink because my throat is already hurting after that game. Ah. All right. How did red throw on the third point? Let's try to think back and remember that. What happened on the third point? Why weren't they able to secure it? The Ana died? How did the Ana die? I can't remember exactly. Did Sonya just kill her? Or Muradin killed her? It was in that big chaotic fight where everybody lived at like 10% HP. Or was it a Riptire? That's what it was, right? The Riptire found her in the bush, and then the Sonya was able to get the flank onto her and chunk her pretty hard. But then they... And then the Muradin finished her off later in the fight. I think that's what happened. If Ana's alive for that third point, I think red team wins. Somebody else died in that fight, didn't they? Was it just Ana? I thought somebody else was dead. Zarya was dead earlier and had to come back from base. Or blue. Just Ana died. But everybody else got low and had to back. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, game 3. I mean, it depends on what map we go to. What do I want to see? On the side of red team, I think C2D2 needs to be more impactful on offlane somehow. I mean, that game he just needed to press buttons in teamfights, pretty much. But I think I need to see, because he was he ahead in game 1? He was on D.Va, right? I guess he was kind of ahead, but he was also getting abused by the Tracer Brightwing ganks and stuff. He didn't feel like he was... I don't know if how much of that is the nerfs versus how much of that is the D.Va play itself, but it didn't feel like he was stomping the game as D.Va, which is normally what it feels like when you play against D.Va. So, comparing him to the other D.Va plays I've seen, that one felt a little bit underwhelming. What else? I think their tank has been getting abused most of these games. Their DPS... I mean, the DPS have like moments of good play. They're just not able to carry it through for the win. So, I mean, I don't know what Heroes DNA Galaxy plays. And he's been he's been doing all right, but he's also not winning them the game either. He's doing okay. Maybe he can't win them the game. I don't know. Healer play was okay that game. I guess Ana dying at a bad time is pretty bad for them though, right? So that can't happen. If that happens, that's really bad. What were they in game 1? Stukov? That was, yeah, they were getting abused in game 1 too with the cocoons and stuff. That one was a bit more understandable, because like, they're always gonna get cocoon on you there, pretty much. And you can't really do much. But yeah, the Ana was pretty rough. Because they shouldn't... I don't think they should be able to get onto you that easily as Ana in that game. Especially if you have, like, Earthquake and stuff zoning for you, and a Johanna. Like, that's a pretty big wall that they have to walk through, that they shouldn't be able to walk through in any world, pretty much. So that, and you have Wave of Force and like Sylvanas also chunking them all the way on the way in and things like that. Um, all right. Let's think. For blue team, what do I want to see out of them? Is team not killing Rip Tower? I mean, yeah, that's part of it. Sylve can silence the tower itself, so what you should do as Sylve is, especially past level 20, is just silence the first Rip Tire and burst it, and then he doesn't ever get resets, and he doesn't get like 4 Rip Tires in a team fight. You get the one, and it doesn't even explode. So you trade ults, but at 20, that's a way better trade for you, because you're trading your 1 ult for his 4 ults. So yeah, you waste Wailing Arrow, but like, they're gonna Medallion, they've got Zarya shields to Unstoppable through half of it anyway. They weren't really big on spells, like Murden, he's just like a health bar and a pile of stats, so after he jumps in and stuns people, like, silencing him doesn't really do much. Sonya's a pile of stats, she pops Wrath and then just like hits people. If you can silence Tyrande, that's nice, but like, I don't know, I didn't see him silence Tyrande really. I don't think, in a way that was super impactful. So yeah, I feel like Wailing Arrow was not used how it should be in that matchup, because silencing the Rip Tire itself is the way you win that matchup, and it should be still favored, because Junkrat doesn't get to have an ult, and if he doesn't have an ult, they have much lower kill pressure, because they have no burst damage, pretty much. Um, who was playing Zarya? Was that Zlurd on blue side? He had very good repulsion zones that game, I thought. That their engages would like, they would try and engage with the Muradin, it wouldn't quite go well, and then the repulsion zone would like follow up the engage, and it would actually secure the engages being favorable for them. I think he's like a main Zarya player though, so that's kind of to be expected, I think. What else? I mean, Junkrat played decently, I guess. The one Riptire going behind the fort was just really fucking weird, and that was a waste of an ult past level 20. So that was pretty bad. That shouldn't happen. I don't know what he was trying to do with that, but other than that, it was mostly fine. I just realized there's CPOG X and 0X. That's funny. And technically LOX. The X team. The X-Men. Mysticles. What offlaner was he playing that game? Sonya? He did pretty well on Sonya. It's actually IOX? Okay. But their name is Lox, right? With an L. Tracer Band again. Mockery. Malding. um, Red team probably just gonna stick with Chromie Diva bands, I would assume. I don't think there's any reason for them to really change up the bands. Blue side, what were they banning along with Tracer? In game 1 they banned Rainer. Um Game 2, what did they ban? Can't remember now. Off the top of my head. Somebody banned Garrosh ETC, is that right? But that wasn't them. That was the other, that was red team in game 1. They banned Sylve. Yeah, this isn't like one of Sylve's like super insane maps. And they've already played it. So I'm not a real big fan of that ban. Why wouldn't you just ban Junkrat or something? Like, you've already played that. I don't know. That's kind of a weird ban. Vikings band. Is this the first pick ABBA by blue team? Is it? I mean, this is like, I challenge you to first pick ABBA, right? They're throwing their cards on the table. They're like, do it. You won't. Is blue team going to accept that bet? They're gonna call? Are they gonna fold? They pick Chromie? I mean, fine. Any juice pirators? God, I hope not. Alright, blue, you're excused. You don't have to first pick ABBA if you pick Chromie. Get away with it this time. Alright, red team. What are you picking? Pressure the Chromie. Show me what you can do. Diablo. Okay. Vala. Alright. Alright. I like it. It's decent. Blue team. You should pick Garrosh or ETC or a tank. And you should take a healer. You should pick... What healer is best into their team? Let us think. Stukov? Stukov's pretty good. I think Garrosh Stukov would be pretty sick. Brightwing, I mean, you already played Brightwing though. Yeah, Brightwing's good. I get it. I know. It's a global. I know. You're not wrong, but like, in exhibitions you're wrong, you know? Banning Zarya, but they've already played that. Why do you ban Zarya? I think Garrosh Stukov was the pick there for exhibitions. But that's just me. Alright, blue team, what are you banning? You're banning a healer. What's the best healer into your team? Ana. They already played that though. I mean, it's probably the best healer into your team. I think you ban Deckard. That's me. I'm pretty sure you ban Deckard. But whatever. I'd be okay with Stukov too. Or maybe you ban Bright. Well, you can't ban Brightwing now, but like, I would have been okay with the Brightwing ban too. Alright. Lucio Falstad. I'm on board. You've gained my intrigue. You have piqued my interest. These are new heroes. We'd like to see that. Alright, blue team. What do you pick to counter? You need some sort of damage. Abba Greymane? Oh, Genji. Okay. I mean, I like the Abathur. I wanted you to pick Abathur. That's fair. But I think this was Greymane, not Genji. But I'm okay with the Genji. It's acceptable. But I think this was a Greymane. Let the record show. I would have been okay with a Rain or two, but that's like much less like. Do you go Tychus? You already played Tychus. You don't go Tychus, right? I mean, Tychus is kind of good into their team though. Now they're gonna do the Sonya follow up. I don't think I like Sonya into their team though. Into Abba, Brightwing, Garrosh, Genji? Aren't you just gonna get like hard abused? I know it's a comfort hero for C2D2. This does not feel like the game to pick Sonya though. In my opinion. This feels like a... What do you pick here? Urel? I mean, that's probably the right answer. I don't see how Urel isn't the right answer there. I think that's just the only answer. Maybe Chen? Chen would be okay. What else could you go? If you want to be super aggressive, I could see an Imperious being tried. I don't know that it would be super successful. Maybe Dahaka. Yeah, I could see Dahaka. I think Dahaka, Urel, mainly. Or Chen. I don't like Imperious into that team. I think Dahaka, Urel, or Chen are what you should have picked. Game sound. Hello? Game sound? Game sound? Hello? Can I no game sound on clean feed in game 3 at the moment. Alright, I let them know. Please give me game sound. Okay. Vala not going Q build. Bribe on Falstad. No bribe on Brightwing. Instead we get the face shift again. We got the scouting clairvoyance thing on Chromie. Flip into towers by Garrosh. He Diablo charges the Garrosh but doesn't move. Was he unstoppable there? What happened? I didn't see the Garrosh pop medallion. I don't know what happened there. I need to watch that back. CPX trading huge damage into the Sonya on the rotate here, pressuring her out super hard. Sonya needs to be careful. I don't think you can step up to this as Sonya anymore. I think Falstad should be top lane. This is a common mistake I think I see out of people make, is you need to match ranged in the top lane here. Sonya's just going to get bullied and probably die at some point. Anyway, we'll wait for that to happen most likely. Especially with an Abahat, like that's going to be real bad for Sonya. Alright, anyway, Falstad soaking bot lane. The tribute is topside, so I understand why they put Falstad in the bot lane, but I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We'll not harp on that too much. Blue side getting out there, Bruiser camp early. I think that's the wrong order for camps for them. I think they should do siege camp first and hold the Bruiser, but it's alright, I guess. Meanwhile, red side doing their camps in the right order, a little bit slower on the Bruiser camp here, but it'll actually match in the lane in a pretty good spot for them. Vala able to multi-shot the wave and clear this down pretty well. Garrosh getting flipped, charged into towers. They don't really have the damage pressure onto him though. There's an unstoppable, so that was his own unstoppable. That wasn't indomitable. He hadn't picked it yet. If he'd snap picked it, I think he could have, but that's that. And then I'm getting added by somebody. Oh, yep, there's the Genji killing the Sonya as we predicted earlier in the game. Now Vala's going Q build at level 4, but not level 1. Ah, sound. Excellent. Okay. Now we have sound. Excellent. I forget what the talent name. I want to say it's Supersonic or something at level 4 for Lucio, but going the push off build type thing. Pretty cool. Genji going dash build. Got Shot of Fury on Sonya. Hammer gains on Falstad instead of the W shields. It's kinda weird, maybe. Damage being traded out here. Red side bribes the... I don't know if he bribed it, but they have the siege camp pushing bot lane. Falstad's just still stoking. Wow, they were able to get the channel even through the Chromie W there. It missed interrupting the first hit, and the second hit was too far delayed. Blue side getting their siege camp out now, but now it's going to get cleared very easily by red side. So that's why this camp order isn't the best for them. Genji now pressuring the Falstad in bot lane, but now this is at least a ranged on ranged matchup. Got tongue-tied there. The Genji should have an Abahat though, so he should still be able to pressure the Falstad pretty well. Sonya needs to play careful here. They don't really have damage threat. Okay, Garrosh gonna get thrown into towers again. Now they have damage threat because the towers are the damage. So Diablo gets mega chunked. If Chromie was there, that's probably a kill. Is Chromie still okay? It was like, is she still going to get this kill? He's having to interrupt his back twice, but it's very unfortunate. I don't know why he even tried to back here. This was kind of silly. Alright, Genji and Abahat pressuring the Falstad as usual, as we expect. Both sides pretty even in XP there. The global on red side should favor them a little bit on this objective. Sonya stuck in the top lane clearing, it looks like, though. Genji rotating up. Got the repeating Q as far as Vala level 7 goes. Fire Snot build out of Diablo. Is that the second Diablo we've seen? Yeah, he played Diablo game 1, I believe, also. Poison Spear again. Boomerang on Falstad. Flip throw in again. Channel tries to come in on Sonya. Diablo getting a flip charge. Good body blocking by Diablo to interrupt the Chromie Qs. Alright, we like to see that. Red team, bosses have just spawned. I thought they might try and do it, but it looks like they're not going to. Blue side pushing in mid lane here. Vala can clear that fairly easily. Genji rotating down to bot lane, maybe looking for a gank on Falstad, but Falstad's just going to back. Probably getting mana. Charge comes in onto Chromie. They get a Q stack of it on the Vala. No real big threat there. Genji gets flipped, protects most of the damage, gets an Abahat, engages in, trades some damage out, but they should be pretty fine. Falstad is soaking the bot lane here. Abba's heading the bot lane to keep up with the soak. Blue side not getting out their Bruiser camp in time here. Maybe they're going to try to. It's a bit slow. It looks like Chromie is using some spells on it, though. So yeah, it looks like they're going to try and do the camp. Red side just going to give this tribute, since they are at 2. of 3 and take their boss, and it's in a non-favorable spawn on the map for them, and they are slightly ahead for level 10. I like Falstad just hovering at the objective. He can get one stall pretty easily here and be fairly safe doing so. Chromie is not able to do this Bruiser Camp very fast, so it's 4v2 up here in the top lane. Falstad is not able to get the channel here, but that's still relatively okay for them. They full leashed the boss, and it was about half. That's pretty rough for them. It's just Genji and Garrosh. They shouldn't be able to pressure them off the boss here. I think the Vala and Sonya need to trade more damage into them, though. And kiting the boss so far out. This was a ambitious fly-in from Falstad. He's going to get... Okay. Good Z in by the Brightwing, and good throw out by the Garrosh. They're not going to be able to get on point, though. Falstad, they just hit level 10s. They need to snap lock talents. Sonya has Leap. Falstad does have Gust, as we would like to see. I think Falstad should have been able to get killed there. Diablo trying to walk through the slowing sands, gets time looped. Genji getting some damage in, good trades with Shurikens. Sound Barrier, Rain of Vengeance. On the other side we see Dragon Blade, we like to see that. Clone, Blink Heal, Slowing Sands, and Taunt, of course. Diablo having to back. Red side getting their camp out now, blue side clearing the camp in mid lane. Blue side just did that camp so slowly, they still had to give up the boss. But they were able to get the tribute, I guess that's a consolation prize. Falstad gonna bribe the bot lane camp and head off to soak that lane. Meanwhile, red team steps in, looking for channel. Genji clone in the backside. This is essentially a 5v4 fight now. The sound barrier comes in too late. The Vala actually goes down. They get a taunt in the slowing sands on the Garrosh. He tries to medallion out. The Genji clones pressured the Lucio off super hard. The Diablo is super low. Genji clone dashing in, trying to finish him off. Throw comes in. He's going to go down. Falstad possibly actually capping the... Okay, he dashed over the wall. I thought he might be able to cap the tribute on the backside, though, and still get the curse. That would have been possibly a big play by Falstad. He flies back bottom to still push with the siege camp down here. Abba's body soaking. Meanwhile, the bruiser camp from red side pushed in the mid lane. No APOC and no leap coming out of the red team in that fight is kind of weird. It's been a common issue I've seen on red side in these games, is they team fight and then don't push their team fight buttons. And you have to do those if you're team fighting to win the team fight. So that's an issue if that's not happening. Anyway, blue side doing their siege camp here. Good timing for it. Both sides going to probably contest this next tribute, but blue side has now soaked about a half a level lead. They cleared up the bot lane. Genji is down there though, so a little bit slow on the rotate here. Garrosh is also stuck in the top lane, so it's a bit awkward for blue to rotate top side. I think Diablo should anchor on the vision eye here and control the rotate and keep them split. Garrosh looking for a throw, but no real threat for it. I guess he's just trying to stack Q quest, but kind of weird to waste cooldown like that. Red side now is finally realizing that they can split this rotate up and keep the Garrosh split from blue team, but none of his team is with the Diablo. They need to zone them off there. They're letting them group up by him going around, and they're not really controlling the flank here. Genji stepping in, but he's Genji, so he's fine. I think red team needed to step up way more over in this area and zone out blue team. Like, blue team should not be able to step up and even channel a tribute in any world here. But the fact that they're letting them do this is pretty questionable. They are going to be able to get interrupts on it. I think if Diablo threw the Garrosh in the backline there, that could have been potentially a kill. Good taunt there, interrupts an APOC combo. Sonya gets a spear in. Yeah, okay, this is how the fight should have started. Why are we wasting Gust? He's getting the channel, maybe? Sure. Maybe that's worth it? I'm not sure you needed to use Gust there. They still pop clone anyway. They're going to look to try and engage onto either the Lucio or Mockery here. The Sound Barrier comes down. Diablo's just stuck in the slowing sands. He's going to go down. They still have clone and Dragon Blade coming in. No Sound Barrier now. If they can keep dashing in another one. There we go. Onto Mockery. He misses some of the shurikens. Not quite enough damage. There's the dash in from the Genji clone. Is able to secure the kill on the Vala. Brightwing keeping the other Genji alive. In the bottom lane though, Abathur, yep, dying to the Falstad. I saw that happening on the minimap. Couldn't quite call it fast enough, but it was funny. And Falstad is able to get this full fort with the curse. And now they can just rotate up and pressure mid lane. Red team not going to have ults for a little while, but I guess blue team isn't either. Blue team probably going to try and do a boss after this curse at some point, but if red team keeps mid lane pressured here, they should probably be able to get all 3 forts off of this. I think either Vala or Sonya, or maybe both, should have come mid here instead of being split. So now they don't secure the fort. Not a huge loss for them. Vala is going to have Gloom now, so she'll be a bit more survivable against the Genji dives. I don't know what that level 13 talent is on Sonya. Is that just the movement speed? I thought it looked different. Diablo's still going Flame Stump build, but APOC as an ult. It's kind of a weird combination. Not sure I like that. We do see the push-off build from Lucio. We do see the time stop out of Chromie. Spell power at 16. I think normally you go cooldown reduction, but he's also going a weird build, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure the spell power at 16 is not good though on Chromie. I think you would rather go either the activatable spell power or the cooldown reduction. But I think you go activatable spell power for that build, because it's more of a W build than a Q build. I don't know, that's kind of weird. We don't have Shingon on Genji. We have the Way of the Shimada auto attack range at 13. He is going dash at 16. Is that double up at 16 on Garrosh? I don't know what his 16 talents are. Red side bribing away the camp. They've got the boss going. Blue side trading the boss out in the bottom lane. Bridge camps equalized in the mid lane. I think red team can force this fort with mid. They're kind of being slow to react to it. Okay, now they figured it out. Alright, we got there eventually. Just a 5-10 seconds slow on that, but it's fine. We got there. Right decision in the end. Boss getting the top wall in top lane for red side. This blue side boss probably gonna get the fort. Actually, it definitely gets the fort. No red side damage here, able to burst it. Actually, if Vala and Falstad get down here, they can maybe save this fort. Vala needs to use Qs on the thing though. Do they save the fort? Does the damage come through in time? They do. Pog. Alright. Vala has spell power at 16. I think I would have liked to see Frost Shot here. Diablo going the attack speed, up the frequency on Lucio. And we've got the movement speed tailwind talents at 13 and 16 for Falstad. I think this Falstad build is okay. I think I might have gone W build though, just to pressure the Genjis a bit more. Or maybe the Chromie or the Brightwing, but it's okay. It's fine. He's taking so much damage from the Genji though, having to use Gust is very unlucky. I'm not sure if there was an Abahet there, or a clone. I think that could have secured the kill on Falstad. Not wanting to use clone is kind of reasonable, because you want to save it for the objective here. Genji diving in kind of over-aggressively. Oh, they did use the clone eventually. Popping the Dragon Blade. Sonya gets thrown out. Super chunked. Chromie has big damage coming in here. The taunt comes down. The Sonya is going to go down. No Gust now. Genji gets the protect off. He needs to dash out. Oh, that's only the clone. Okay, the other Genji protects. Apok comes down. Whiffs again. Time stop preventing the Garrosh stun. A little bit of unlucky team synergy there. Zavalosh gets super chunked by Chromie again. Vala trying to step in, gets stunned by Garrosh. Genji on the back line gets the protect off. Doesn't have a dash out or anything. He gets CC'd. Chained. Diablo almost goes down. Falstad being very healthy in this fight is able to poke down the Garrosh, but gets big heal from Brightwing. Throw in on the Lucio. Gets polymorphed. Gets W'd. Is able to finish off the kill. Diablo trying to heal up. The Vala can't stay alive against the damage. She barely vaults out in time. Falstad has Gust back up now. Can Diablo live? He's gonna get run down. Gain maximum health, increase slow by 1 second, and Bloodthirst gains an additional charge. That seems pretty good. That's a lot of stuff in one talent. The slow duration, I think, is the biggest thing. Bloodthirst gaining an additional charge is also pretty big. The 5 max HP is not that important, but it's nice. It doesn't hurt. It's kind of, like, I would take the talent maybe without that, so sure. Alright, red team cursed now. Blue side ahead for level 20s. Pushing in on the bottom lane. This is their boss lane. So they do want to equalize the structures here. Have a win condition opened up on the map. Yep, Brightwing game. Brightwing is extremely strong. And she's received changes very slowly and over time that have kind of like added up. But people have just been underrating her for a while. It's also been the meta. I think the meta has helped her a lot. Huge taunt on Diablo. He doesn't have souls. The Vala goes down as well to the Genji Dragon Blade. They are able to get the healing coming in. The Dragon Blade damage is so insane! Oh my god, Zavalosh goes down. They killed the Falstad. They killed the Sonya. That's game. Blue team! That came kind of out of nowhere. That Genji damage was insane. Genji did so much damage that fight. Again, red side, dead, buttons not pressed. Unlike, unlucky. We don't like to see those. You gotta press Gust. You gotta press APOC. I think this was a Lightning Breath game. If you went Fire Stomp build, I don't know why we went APOC. And then whiffed them all. That's kind of not very good. Do you think Brightwing is always pickable? Maybe? Like, she's pretty good. She's definitely pickable a lot of the time. I don't know about always. I don't think always, but like, she's definitely good enough to be pickable a lot. Almost nothing is always pickable. Alright, red team. I'm not sure I liked the Vala build this game. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I don't think I saw Sonya land any impactful leaps. I really wasn't a fan of the APOC Fire Stomp build thing. Gust wasn't used very well. I feel like the only person who had good ults this game was Zavalash, and he still missed an ult that would have saved Vala. Red team, please press buttons. That is my conclusion from watching these 3 games. Red did not press buttons good enough. Because so many teamfights were lost because they died with ults off cooldown that they didn't press the button for. That happened like at least 4 times. And that is really not what I like to see. We should pick stun. Yeah, I like stun there. I think it's good into Genji, especially diving your backline, just being able to disrupt him. You're also able to dive around and get away from Garrosh. You're able to dive onto Brightwing or Chromie, possibly in a backline. And if you can stun like a Brightwing Z or something, that's very huge in a fight. If you can stun Chromie and your team can get on top of them with like a Diablo, a Sonya, a Falstad, things like that, I think that's very strong. Like, it gives you a lot of extra mobility that I think people underrate. With the cooldown reduction mainly. But the stun is nice too. I think the slow is also pretty good. But yeah. Dragon Blade damage just did so much. The Chromie build was kind of weird. I don't feel like Chromie was that good this game. This felt like a Genji highlight reel kind of game. Genji Abathur. Brightwing had some good plays. Garrosh felt like did Garrosh things. He had some good taunts. I'll give him that. His combos weren't the best, I feel like, but he had good taunts, so that's good enough. Chromie just kind of put Slowing Sands in a good spot, and then they walked into it, and then they died for it. And like, is that Chromie making a good play? Not really. Kind of can't really give credit to you on that one. Feels kind of like the red team just kind of not respecting the Slowing Sands more than the Chromie making a good play, so sorry, but you don't get credit for that in my mind. But that felt like a Genji Abathur takeover game. Which, I mean, if you can play that, that's good. Definitely an X factor that's good to bring, but I think that game was kind of enough of a stomp that I'm not sure it means much, to be honest. Like, I don't know how true that is against better players, if I'm honest. Based on my experience.